So, the 2025 track and field season has started. And can I tell you a little secret? The fans of Elaine Thompson-Herah are all nervous. We're all super nervous. We know that this year is going to be a decisive year in the career of Elaine Thompson-Herah. And we know that so much is at stake right now. We are just scratching our heads and going crazy. Because let me say, things aren't looking so good right now. That's just the truth. Based on what we have been seeing recently, we all know Elaine Thompson is walking on a very, very thin line right now. And anything that happens in a certain direction could top the balance, and it could mean disaster. But we're hoping that this year 2025 will not bring any more disaster than what we have seen so far. It's been approximately 2 to 3 years now since Elaine Thompson has dropped off from those mind-blowing performances, and we're anxious to see what she'll be able to bring to the table this new track and field season. Now, one of the big things that is going through the head of Elaine Thompson-Herah's fans is that age is now creeping up on her very rapidly. Elaine Thompson is 32, and June 28, 2025, she will be 33 years old. Now, going into the 2025 track and field season, we're not sure where Elaine is training. And of course, as our fans, we would really love to know that. She has been quite good at keeping that a secret so far. We know that she's not going back to Walcott to train. She has headed in a different direction, and right now we're not certain where she's going. But of course, we're hoping that it's a place that will understand Elaine Thompson-Herah's situation, and I mean her health situation, which is a very, very tricky one, which is going to take some time for persons to really understand. Now, our former coach, Stephen Francis, had recommended that Elaine Thompson-Herah try something out of the box. As a matter of fact, he was specific enough to say that he thinks Elaine should try an international coach. And I think he's citing this based on the fact that he knows that it takes a lot to care for Elaine physically and to get her in the best shape that she can get into. That is making the recommendation, because these equipments and these facilities are more readily available overseas than here in Jamaica. And if you listen to Stephen Francis, some of the machines and equipments and the different specialists that he brings into Jamaica to deal with his athletes can be very, very expensive and hard to get to. But if Elaine goes overseas, they should be more readily available. And of course, we know that Elaine already has the funds and can deal with that based on some previous revelations about what her contractual arrangements might be with some of these big sponsors and all of that. So we know she can afford it. But whether or not we want to mention it, this year is going to be the most critical year in Elaine Thompson-Herah's entire career. Mark my words. Now, I'm saying this as someone that really wants to see Elaine back in shape and back in form. I really appreciate those years when she was doing extremely well. The 10:54, the 10:06, and all those times. We remember those days. Tokyo and the 2021 Nike Prefontaine Classic. We know exactly what those were like. So, of course, I am one of those who wants to see Elaine back in fine form. But the reality is there that right now, she cannot make any stupid decision right now. She cannot take any further gamble with what is happening in her space. It is a do or die situation for her. Of course, many people are going to argue that Elaine Thompson still has a lot more in the tank, based on the fact that they see Shelly Fraser-Pryce, who is much older than Elaine Thompson-Herah, performing at such a high level even to this moment. But the truth is, not every athlete is going to be the same. And these are not things that are common. Shelly's situation, in my estimation, is somewhat unique. Of course, there are other athletes who have performed being way older than Shelly Fraser-Pryce, but they were just not at the level that Shelly was. Shelly is still very competitive. Well, or should I say, Shelly was still very, very competitive up until about 2023. Currently, we don't know what her situation is. We don't know what is happening with her. But even 2023, she was doing some really, really good stuff. Now, for Elaine, I can't say that will be the case because, of course, we understand that her body is totally different. So many issues with her health and all of that kind of stuff. So, having to deal with those kind of injuries being young, can you now even imagine the type of pressure that it will add to her being way older than when she was in her peak form? So should we be nervous? Should we be concerned? I think we should be. But I'm hoping that wherever she goes this year, we can get something more out of her before she has to put down the spikes. It's really sad to see all of that talent just goes to waste just like that. It's really sad when we see all this kind of stuff, but it comes to show that performance in track and field does not only come down to you having a certain talent and you having the money to go wherever you want. It comes down to serious decision making. It goes beyond the talent itself, but it goes to show that it's important to have the proper guidance and support system as an athlete. It definitely can make a huge difference in just how much you'll amass as a track athlete. So Elaine Thompson-Herah going into 2025, we're hoping that the fireworks will be back, but as of now, I'm saying that she's walking on a very, very dangerous path, and we're hoping that whatever choice she made ahead of this season, they were the right ones.